Hello, and welcome to our demo on logging with Instana and Humio. For our demo today, I'm going to be an engineer who is responsible for a single service within our environment. Now before we begin today, it's important to note that all the data contained within the Instana platform is automatically gathered with the deployment of an agent. What we see up on our screen is our dependency map, which displays all of our services within our environment and how they interact with each other in context. Again, I'm only responsible for one service, so let's go ahead and check out our application perspective to make things simpler. Now, from the application perspective on the Instana platform, we can get a listing of all of our services by name. Again, for the sake of this demo, I'm only responsible for one of these services in our environment, and that happens to be the payment gateway. On this service itself, we can see a fairly persistent erroneous call rate, and we're going to be investigating that today. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, clicking into that service will display a screen based on the golden signals. As we can see, there's a fairly persistent erroneous call rate on this service, and we want to investigate that. Before I go ahead and dig into our log messages, it's important to note that Instana gets log messages from 1 and above. So when we click into that, we can see that this message none type object is not iterable is fairly persistent. Again, we're going to investigate that. So once we click on that, that takes us over to the Unbounded Analytics section of the Instana platform. As we can see, all our messages have been filtered by that none type object is not iterable, again on our payment service. On this page, we can see everything that has happened to lead up to the error itself. This page is designed to give you all the information you need in order to take intelligent action to rectify whatever error you may be experiencing. It's again important to note that all this information is automatically collected with the deployment of an agent. There's no further configuration that is needed. We're going to go ahead and check out our stack trace and our source code itself. All this information should be everything you need in order to debug an application. But if we go down here, we see a couple of info messages that might be useful to us, and we're going to dig a little bit deeper since Instana doesn't currently get info messages. In order to investigate further, we're going to go ahead and exit out of our source code and dig into our infrastructure stack. We're going to go ahead and click into our Docker container where our code is actually running. From here, we're going to flip things over to Humio. Now, before we get involved with Humio, it is important to note that this information is all completely in context. The Docker ID matches the Docker ID in the Instana platform, and so does the timestamp. So scrolling through all of our information here, I should be able to identify our issue. And here it is. As we can see, there's a couple of info messages, and then we get our error itself. We can see that info message, the payment from partner 57. And then we can see that there is a cart here, except the cart is empty. So our application blows up. Now, as a little bit of a bonus, I went ahead and fixed that piece of code prior to our demo. And we can see that here. Right here is where I fixed the code in itself. We can see that before this, the process would blow up if the cart was not valid. After I fixed it, the issue should not occur anymore.